Some opening shot thoughts. What exactly happened on Grant Avenue in Franklin Park last Friday at 9 a.m.? We know that an alleged undocumented immigrant in his 30s, Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, was shot and killed by an ICE agent after evading ICE officers during a traffic stop and then speeding off. Gonzalez crashed into a truck. The official account from the Department of Homeland Security alleges that Gonzalez struck and dragged an ICE agent during the stop and, quote, fearing for his life, the agent shot and killed Gonzalez.
Due process would have avoided all of this. This was an avoidable tragedy. We don't need the National Guard. We don't need ICE in our communities. We need to allow law enforcement to do their jobs in a proper way. ICE is not law enforcement.
Clearly, Democratic officials not buying the explanation. Surveillance video in the area raised questions about the timeline of events. This is from a nearby auto body shop. There's Gonzalez's car in the truck he eventually crashed into after being shot, stopped side by side in traffic. We counted 30 seconds between that passing and gunshots being fired, which means that entire encounter with an officer happened within seconds. Not able to obtain video camera from a nail salon closer to the exchange, as the owner told us it had been given over to the FBI, but it aired on another news outlet showing Gonzalez driving off but not showing an officer being hit or dragged. Now, it might have simply been off camera, but those are the questions that need to be answered. Along with this, why did ICE agents follow Gonzalez to drop his children off at daycare and then pull him over in a vehicle as opposed to detain him in his home? In Chicago, there's an extensive process to review officer-involved killings and a high bar to meet to call the killing justified. The FBI is apparently reviewing this case, but we don't know what those investigative standards are. Perhaps other surveillance footage or cell phone video from witnesses could tell a fuller story. Either way, a man lost his life because of this exchange, and federal agents could have been injured or hurt worse than they were. We will continue to look for answers. Tonight, a Chicago restaurateur heads to D.C. to ask Congress and the president to slow down on immigrant deportations. An $11 billion mess, what the governor did or did not know before signing a costly Chicago pension bill into law. The controversial Safety Act turns 2 years old. Has it helped or hurt crime fighting in Illinois? And the rise of AI means data centers are popping up all over the area and sucking the region's water and electricity resources dry. Welcome to the Chicago Report. I'm Paris Schutz. Chicago restaurants are feeling the pinch of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, as some industry leaders say he should back off going after workers that are sorely needed in the hospitality industry. And we're joined now by Sam Sanchez, owner of Moe's Cantina and member of the board of the National Restaurant Association. Sam is fresh off a trip to D.C. to meet with representatives of Congress and on Capitol Hill. Sam Sanchez, thanks for talking to us. You're back home in town. You flew in this evening. Who did you meet with and what did you tell them?
Yeah, just got back. I mean, there was a fall board meeting, so it was a great opportunity to support the National Restaurant Association, and which they always continue to support the immigration reform, and they will continue to work with the legislators and the lobbyists to be able to deliver some common sense. I mean, so the National Restaurant Association has their spokesperson that I will guide any questions for them. And no, we spoke to policy leaders. The questions came up on immigration. I mean, we're still waiting for President Trump to deliver on his statement where work permits will be issued to long-term migrants. This is very important. One is the Restaurant Association, the National Restaurant Association, is the largest second employer across the country, and their lobbying and their communication with the White House is a lot stronger than many other organizations. So we're very proud to have them speaking on our behalf as the Latino community and the immigration for immigration reform, which we've been fighting. But what we got coming up here next on Tuesday, because this is Hispanic Heritage Month, Paris, and on Tuesday, the United States, the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, who has 4.5 million business owners, members to the association, had a press conference in Atlanta, Georgia. So back on the plane on Monday, back on Tuesday, we do a press conference, and We're going to follow up with the flying on October. On
Sam,
mid-October, we're flying on over
got
600 business owners.
got a
So
lot going on.
this is important
So
because, I mean,
a big,
we need to make this change.
I'm a big interest. You want the work permits here, but you know you were a supporter of President Trump. Are you disappointed with his approach to immigration? You've seen crackdowns at work sites. You've seen crackdowns at school. Are you disappointed?
Yeah, so President Trump was supposed to go after violent repeat offenders, not pulling cars over like this poor gentleman that was killed tragically, families being ripped apart. That's not what we voted for. You know, and voting Republican, it doesn't make you a MAGA supporter. Okay, we're conservative values. Over almost half of the Hispanic community voted for President Trump because we wanted the border secured and we wanted law and order and we want good jobs for our families. Okay, so now we have to curb this and we have to fix it and we have to guide them. And there's enough of us here. There's enough of us here, and many of them have children that are in voting age, that we're going to ask President Trump to rethink, you know, his position here, because we need him to deliver on his promise, which is violent repeat offenders, not families, not grandma, not grandpa, and the issue of the work permits, which he stated on April 10th. This is the question that I posted, okay, that I talked about at the White House today, okay, that I wanted President Trump to deliver on the April 10th statement on work permits. And he also mentioned on December 12th that the dreamers should be here. We need to President Trump to deliver and keep his promise to the Hispanic community, at least the 48% that voted for him. Because this is not one vote putting him in office. We're talking about 48% because we wanted conservative
and we see
values.
poll numbers dipping in the Hispanic community, maybe because of issues like this. But quickly, Sam, what's been the hit to Chicago restaurants and their ability to find workers all across the hospitality industry?
So I'm glad you asked me this, Paris, because this is so important. I mean, I'm in communication with restaurants and Pilsen restaurants and Little Village restaurants and back of the yards and restaurant 47th Street. Even an American citizen doesn't want to go to work anymore. They're afraid because they're going to get picked up. This is crazy, picking up American citizens. DACA recipient. Listen, a traffic violation is not a violent crime. We have a DACA recipient out in Houston, Texas, or Dallas, Texas, I'm sorry, Dallas, that was picked up for a fender bender. And he's in detention right now. And he's a graduate of an Ivy League college. I mean, we talked about bringing the best of the best, and now we're deporting them and sending the best out of our country. That's not what President Trump promised. That's not what yeah, am I disappointed? Yes, we're all disappointed. You saw the numbers. You're right. From 48%, they're down to 39%. And it's going to continue going in that direction. And, you know, the midterm election is going to depend on Hispanic votes. And we don't want to lose our conservative values. We don't. Right. So we're urging the president, okay, to keep his promise and do what he's going to do on what he promised, which is repeat violent, dangerous offenders.
All right.
Not mothers,
All
not
right.
families.
Sam Sanchez, thanks for visiting with us. We'll continue to follow up on the hospitality industry, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. Thanks very much.
Thank you, President.
And after the break, a new twist in Chicago's pension crisis. Why it has the mayor's office at odds with the governor. Stay tuned.